I want to take you back to a Friday a couple of years ago. You just finished your last period and you and your friends promised you were going to be online as soon as you got home. You switch on your PS3 and you pray you didn't get this orange light of death because you know you never clean that thing once. You log on and everybody's already in the party waiting for you. You grinded some pubs with the homies, you got some streaks, you got some dubs, you got some camos, you ranked up, you prestiged, all while laughing your asses off the entire evening. The next day you wake up and decide to play a little game called The Last of Us. Maybe you heard of it. You've been hearing some chitter chatter that this game is something special, but I mean, it's another zombies game. Isn't it like been there, done that? I mean, how good can it really be? And then you proceed to become an absolute emotional wreck after witnessing this scene. The Last of Us made me feel emotions I didn't even know I had. And the fact that this and this and this was all rendered on the PS3 still blows my mind today. And these are just a couple of moments gaming brought us just a few years ago. Well, what happens if we look at modern gaming today? Yeah, it's not looking too good. But if you clicked on this video, I know you've been feeling the same things I have. Something's just been feeling a little bit off lately. I feel like this problem we're all feeling can be tackled in two different categories: the single player category and the multiplayer category. Let's start with the multiplayer first. Multiplayer in recent years has suffered from a huge problem called drip feed and what I like to call battle pacification. Drip feed is the act of slowly giving players incremental pieces of content to keep the game feeling just fresh enough for the dedicated players to keep them coming back. I get the idea, but sometimes it just feels like a lazy excuse to put in minimal effort to give us calling cards, weapon skins, decal sprays, and other things we don't care about, instead of actually giving us new content, new maps, and new things to do in the game, or new chapters in the story to actually progress the game forward. Halo Infinite and Overwatch 2, two massive online communities that absolutely loved the game, have basically given up hope that they're gonna get new content because of the stupid live service model that these developers keep on pushing towards us, and they pretty much always under-deliver on what they actually promised. And the battle pacification of pretty much every single multiplayer also doesn't help the fact that we're seeing less content in games more than ever. And I know the battle pass is a great way to support the devs, and I know it's cool that Timmy gets to brag to his friends in math class about how he got this super cool candy cane pickaxe, but sometimes it just feels like it's too good. Why would the developers spend months and months making new arsenals of weapons and new maps when they make the same, if not more money, just slapping a bunch of pixels in a battle pass, and every single 12-year-old will collectively steal their parents' credit cards and insta-buy that every time? And don't even get me started with GTA 5. You know that meme where it's like GTA between 2001 and 2009, and then it's like GTA between 2013 and 2023, and it's literally just GTA 5? Yeah, that, my friends, is the power of microtransactions, which is an entire video in and of itself, so I'm not going to get into that too much. Couple this with the fact that I bet a fair number of you watching this right now are probably out of high school by now, and I'm betting a lot of you just don't have a lot of people to play with anymore. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I think that's just what life is sometimes. Life hits you harder than a Fortnite battle bus from season 10 sometimes, and that's just how it is when you're in your 20s, because Ryan's off studying his masters in the UK, Josh is out there working for some soulless investment company, and Keegan, yeah, we don't talk about Keegan anymore. That makes multiplayer feel lonelier and quieter than ever. No more afternoon camo grinds after school every single afternoon, or 12-hour gaming sessions with the homies. What's that by the door? Boom, it's responsibilities, bills to pay, rent to pay. What's that? Taxes? Like, I can actually go to jail just for not disclosing 12 cents by accident, and I could end up there for like 10 years. And sometimes that stress is enough to get people to stop enjoying the hobbies that they love, like gaming. With the single player, it's a little bit different. I know you can discount a lot of the gaming fatigue that we're feeling now, probably by the fact that you're in your 20s or 30s and you've probably played a lot of games by now. And naturally, because you've played a shit ton of games, it just makes you a lot less likely to get excited for new games, because a lot of them sort of recycle the same gameplay loop, and that can just feel a bit boring sometimes. But call me crazy Joe Biden, but doesn't it feel like a lot of single player games are drier than the desert that Nathan Drake survived in Uncharted 3? And that shit was empty. I know there have been absolute bangers to come out recently, like Elden Ring, Red Red Dead Redemption 2, and God of War, just to name a few. But a lot of the time, it feels like the norm to release a $60 to $70 game that's pretty much a pre-alpha of a game with the same optimization as Cyberpunk 2077 and more bugs than a Fallout 76 launch. And then there's some games where I'm absolutely convinced that the higher-ups literally just googled a video game checklist to create a soulless cash grab of a game, like Lord of the Rings Gollum. What the hell was that? And even Saints Row, like what the hell were you supposed to even do in that game? Sometimes it feels like every single Dementor just sucked the soul out of some of these development companies, and then they just shit out whatever the shareholders told them to make. Now I know this video has been pretty depressing so far, but I don't want to be a negative Nancy the entire video, because to be honest, a lot of these things can actually have simple fixes for them that we as gamers can actually use. On the multiplayer side, make some damn friends. But for real, whether you're reaching out to old friends or making new friends, I promise you it will reignite your gaming Tinder. I know that sounded very weird, but just trust me. Sometimes a single message can go a long way. The social aspect of gaming doesn't have to revolve around just your high school years. There are so many gaming communities, LFG groups, and gaming forums out there just looking for people to play with. And they all have mostly good people in them. And play some games where the developers actually care about the community. Yes, they actually exist. I've been grinding Valorant recently just because they added servers to South Africa. And the reason why they added it was because the community was asking and they actually listened. Isn't that insane? And for the single player fatigue, try and play something outside of your comfort zone. Something that you never would have touched otherwise. Take risks. I started playing Civilization 6 and I absolutely love it. Do I know what the hell is going on? No. Does the soundtrack absolutely fucking slap? Yes. Do I like seeing Gandhi arm 20 nukes right next to my capital? No, but I still love the game. For the last 3 years, I have been delving into the indie genre of games and I've absolutely loved it. Games like Outer Wilds, Stray, and Cuphead are games I would give literally anything to play again for the first time. So what's the key takeaway from this video essay type thing? The key takeaway is just to keep on gaming, gamers. Until next time.